All right, we are joined here by Coach Austin Parkinson, Macee Williams, and Destiny Perkins. Once again, we'll start with an opening statement by Coach, questions for the players, and then questions for Coach. We do have a mic, so please raise your hand, and we will get you that microphone. Coach, congratulations. Please give us an opening statement.
Yeah, just thrilled for our players. It's been a long journey to get here, and tonight was a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of ups, and then, Cleveland State, you got to give them a lot of credit. They fought back. I made it really difficult when they started pressing, and I think our tournament experience from the past, being in the finals the last 2 years, really paid off, and our veterans, especially Des, made clutch plays down the stretch, and so now they're going to get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, and people will get to see them on a national scale, which is great.
All right, we'll open up for questions for the student athletes. Right in front here.
Destiny, walk me through kind of those last couple of minutes for you guys. You guys had that big lead. I think you were up by 18 at one point, midway through the third quarter, and then things were just kind of, slowly falling apart. Was there kind of a sense that, somebody needed to kind of step up and make a play for you guys, and why do you feel like you were ready for that moment?
I wouldn't even say falling apart is the right word for that. I would just say that it was us. Like, we wasn't doing what we were supposed to do. We wasn't hitting shots. We was turning over the ball and stuff like that. But in that moment, I just knew that whenever I get the ball, that I need to shoot it if I'm open and just do what I do and keep everybody together.
It seems like I noticed, early in the game, there were a couple of turnovers that you had. At one point, you get taken out and coach says something to you, trying to, encourage you or calm you down. What did he say to you in that moment?
First, I'll just say Austin Parkinson is the coach of the year. Maybe I'm biased, but he's coach of the year. But he just told me, like, Des, you're good. Stay in the game, keep your head. That's what he always tells me. And in the moment, I'm like, dang, come on, Coach B, like, put me back in. But he has my best interest, and he's the coach of the year.
Other questions? Up in the back here.
Macee and Destiny, first, congratulations. You two were both part of the team in 2020 that got this far as well. What does it mean to be with each other and make it once again?
I just feel like, this year it was a little sweeter just because 2020 we didn't actually get to go into the NCAA, and last year Wright State won. So I just feel like this game was a little sweeter, and it was nice to be able to still be able to play with Destiny throughout all those seasons.
Yeah, I would say it's just special because it felt like during the season there were so many people against us. Then forfeits that we got counted against us when really they were saying we lost this amount of games or we didn't really lose. We had to forfeit them games. So just to be able to do that and to fight through adversity whenever there's so many people who are against you is an amazing feeling.
Other questions for the student athletes?
Macee, talk a little bit about Destiny's leadership and what she brings to this team and just kind of the composure, especially in that point guard role, how important it is to have somebody like her to kind of be able to, rally around when you guys need to.
I had a little episode throughout the game when I was kind of lost my head, and I just know Des came up to me and she kind of calmed me down. So I got to give a lot of credit to Des and what she does for the team.
Macee, so yesterday you talked about doing this win for someone big, and you said Holly. Can you go ahead and follow up with that?
I know just because the 2020 season we won and we didn't get to go into the NCAA, and Holly I think she was the only senior on the team, and she didn't get to go. So it was kind of, I felt for Holly, but I knew I had other years to play. So, this year she's on the coaching staff, and once we won, we had like a little moment, and I got a little teary-eyed. And it's just so nice to have Holly on the team.
Either one of you can answer this question, but as Coach kind of alluded to, now you guys get to show how great of a team you guys can really be on a national stage. Can you talk about how excited you are to finally achieve that goal and show basically the entire country how good of a team you truly can be?
I mean, we're all excited. I mean, we kind of gave you guys a glimpse when we played Michigan and Iowa. So, I mean, I guess for us, it doesn't matter the team. We're still going to bring it no matter what.
Destiny, your thoughts?
Yeah, to pick up off Macee, we're ready for anybody who we play. We're not nervous. We're not scared. When it comes game time, we don't care who the other team is, what their score is, what their rank is. We're always going to be ready to play.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, ladies, thanks for the time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
That MVP trophy's fragile, so just remember that.
He needs the mic.
Yep. All right, questions for Coach, and we'll open up for Mike here.
Yeah, Austin, from the moment 2 years ago when you heard that the tournament was canceled, how much have you and how much has this program been fueled and fired to get to this very moment?
Well, I think it's an incredible journey. And what I mean by that, when we won last time, we didn't know it was going to be canceled. We had the emotions of our first time, and then it was kind of taken away. We came back the next year with the same team, and we were picked to win the regular season. Unfortunately, the league had a formula for how they computed the wins and losses. They didn't do it how we did it this year or every other year. And so instead of, finishing first, we finished fifth. And we ended up having to be in that second game. I thought last year in the tournament championship, we got, tired and ran into a really good Wright State team. So we come back this year with a loaded group. If you look around, there were a lot of players that left, transferred in their name in the transfer portal from the league, and Macee Williams and Morgan Allen chose to come back to IUPUI. And we start off, play Michigan great, and then our first two conference games, we get forfeits, which is really frustrating for these kids with having that pressure again of, hey, you're the preseason favorite. We get past Christmas, and now the rules change. There's no contests, but we still had to keep our forfeits. What I think it did for these kids was it was a fun year, but it was a stressful year, and because there was no room for error. And you add on to the previous year, and then you add the previous year where we didn't go. That's a lot of pressure on a lot of young ladies. And they focused in, they battled. Getting that one seed, I think, was huge. And I think it speaks to the character of the ladies in our locker room and what they were about, because nothing, no matter what happened, was going to get in their way.
Coach, as you guys have that big lead and then it's kind of dwindling, did you kind of sense or, in the back of your mind, is there kind of moments where you're thinking, we get to this point and now kind of here we go again?
Well, it wasn't so much here we go again, because we really haven't had a situation where we had a meltdown in a game. It was more, I was kind of kicking myself for taking a timeout earlier that I would have liked to have had, so I could have stopped the momentum a little bit. And, at that point, it was kind of just trusting, if we can get stops. We have a veteran group out there. And, at the end of the day, great players make great plays. And Destiny Perkins, since she's been here, she has probably matured as much as any player I've ever had. She played behind Holly when she got here, and Holly's the best leader I've ever been around. But there's different types of leadership. And, Destiny loves ball. She spends a lot of time on her game. She's got a certain kind of swag to the way that she plays. And honestly, it didn't surprise me at all that she was the one that stepped up in that moment when, it was hitting the fan.
Oh, behind you.
Austin, you just mentioned Holly as a leader. Can you talk a little bit about what she brought to this team as a coach, and what it means to you to actually see her be able to go to the NCAA tournament?
Well, I'm thrilled that she gets to go to the NCAA tournament. Honestly, I'm thrilled for both, my staff. People may not know this, but we were short a staff member. We had a coach that took a different job right before the season, and I didn't fill that position. And a lot was put on Latrell Fleming, who's my associate head coach, and a first-year coach in Holly Hoopengardner. And, those guys putting together game plans late at night, trading off scouting reports. I mean, our players and myself have a lot to be thankful for in the efforts of our coaching staff.
Coach, you've routinely talked about Macee is one of, if not the best player to ever come through this program. Now that she's gonna get to, and the entire team get to experience the national the national tournament. Kind of, it feels like a perfect send off to what's been arguably one heck of a career for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely the best player at IUPUI, and she's probably the best player in the history of the Horizon League. So I told my wife yesterday, I was like, more than anything, I just wanted these kids to win for themselves. I wanted to see them get to experience, Monday night when your name's called. We didn't get to do any of that. I mean, they canceled it last time. It wasn't just the tournament. We never saw who we were going to play. And so for them to be able to come back like they did and give themselves a chance to play on a national scale, it makes me really happy for Macee, for Mo, for IUPUI, because, we've been a pretty consistent program over the years, but we've not had that chance to play, in the national light. And, it's great that the world's going to get to see Macee Williams.
Coach Parkinson, I know in that second quarter, Cleveland State really made that run, and I know I could tell on the sidelines from the press box above, you weren't really happy. You were making tons of subs and adjustments. What do you tell a team with this veteran leadership? What do you tell them in those timeouts and during those breaks and even at halftime?
Well, it was more halftime. We were taking some shots that were good shots, but we were rushing, and I felt like Cleveland State was tired. So we were getting stops and then just going down the floor and kind of taking bad shots. I mean, we every once in a while we get in this tendency where we forget, Macee's the 4-time player of the year. And we had a stretch where there were no timeouts, no dead balls. But at halftime I walked in, and first thing I just said was, hey, you guys will make shots. You guys will make shots. We're the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league. We'll make shots. And, we hit some big ones, in the second half.
Coach, just lastly, how big was that? I mean, one of those big shots, Destiny's 4-point play to really, that seemed not only to energize you guys on the bench, the fans got into it, and that really seemed like that catalyst type moment to really seal the win for you guys.
Might have been the most important play in IUPUI women's history. What I'd tell you is it was kind of ironic. As she released it, my mind went back to 2 years ago when we played Green Bay, because on the other side of the floor in front of our bench, she hit a three that kind of put it away. And as she took it, I thought, man, it just seemed similar. Didn't know it was going in, and I didn't know she was going to get fouled. But I give her a lot of credit for having the courage, take that shot. Because a lot of times, that's what happens, right? You get ahead, and people start coming back, and it's really who wants the ball, who's not afraid of the moment. And she wasn't afraid of the moment, and we could continue to play.
I'm sure you would be thrilled if the committee sent you to the moon to play the first round. But one possibility might be Bloomington. How much would you like to see that?
To be honest, I really don't care. I think our kids would enjoy going someplace, and I think they would enjoy if we play, close to here and we can get a lot of fan support. I mean, we had awesome fan support today, and their noise, made a big difference. But, again, I just think our kids are ready to experience wherever they send us. We'll be excited to play. And they've definitely earned it.
You mentioned the fans there. Just how cool was it to go on this run, to be able to celebrate out there this afternoon right here in Indianapolis with that group?
Yeah, well, the first year there were fans. And then last year we played in front of cardboard cutouts to nobody.